Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Krista, and today I'm going to guide you through a more of an intermediate flow. And for today's class, there's going to be a larger focus on the shoulders. There's going to be a lot of forearm planks and a lot of focus on the core, as well as a little bit of balancing. So let's just get started right away. We'll start by taking the arms out about shoulder height into a T position, thumb pointed up and then palm facing forward. Start to rotate the thumb forward and down so your palm now faces the back wall or behind you. And then start to rotate the palm up towards the sky. This is your external rotation. And then internal rotation, the thumb tracks forward and down, palm faces back. Yeah, we'll keep moving with that, just warming up through the shoulders. You might feel the stemming right in that shoulder socket. Yeah, and we'll just do a few more just like that. And then the next time your palm faces up towards the sky, just start to bend your elbows and try and touch your fingertips onto the shoulders. Maybe it might be helpful just to touch your thumbs onto the shoulders. And we're going to do a little, I call it chicken wing rotations. So essentially, you just want to do some big arm circles. Yeah, so you want to track the elbows forward in front of you, reach them up towards the ears, so biceps are alongside the ears, and then take it out and back. Yeah, and you might start to feel those shoulders having a little bit of a burn. Yeah, we'll just do a couple more like that, and then we'll take it in the opposite direction. So this time going back, up, and overhead. 2, and last one, and 1. Awesome, just release the arms, give your arms a shake. And then just a little stretch for the arms, reach your arm up and back so the hand touches in between your shoulder blades, the elbows pointing up. It doesn't matter what side you do first, just finding a nice tricep stretch here. Yeah, and if you're finding that stretch, and just pay attention to your ribs, see if you can nip your ribs and your hip bones together. Yeah, and then we'll switch to the other side. Awesome, just release the hands. We're gonna come into tabletop now. Making sure your knees are stacked underneath the hips and your shoulders are over the wrists. Just warming up through the spine with a gentle cat-cow, reaching the chest and the tailbone up. And with every exhale, rounding the spine, tuck your chin in towards your chest. Inhale, cow pose. Tailbone, chest, head looks up. And exhale, round the spine for your cat pose. And just keep moving with your breath here. Your whole inhale bringing you to your cow pose. Your whole exhale bringing you to your cat. Beautiful. Finish your last cat pose. Really puff up the upper back. And then come back to a neutral spine and just start to sway the body forward and back, just warming up through the wrists. Spreading the fingers comfortably wide. Allowing the shoulders to go past the wrists. Maybe taking that sway side to side. Trying to keep the elbows as straight as possible here. Yeah, maybe you start to take a little bit more of an organic movement, making like figure 8 movements, maybe making circles. And then just flip the palms so that your fingertips point towards your knees. And then start to lean your weight back. So this time your shoulders are tracking away from the wrists. And the further you go back, the deeper the stretch. Awesome. Just lift your hands, give them a little shake if you need to. And we'll start to get into our flow. So from here, begin to kick the right leg back behind you, coming in line with the spine. Keep the leg nice and engaged, glute engaged. And on your exhale, begin to bring your knee to your nose. Round the spine, think of pushing the floor away. Inhale, extend the leg back. Now you can stay here just like this, or maybe as you draw the knee in towards the chest, you tuck the left toes under, lift that left knee, coming into your core plank. Inhale, extend. Exhale, let's crunch it in, knee to chest, maybe lift the back knee, core plank. Inhale, extend, lower that knee. Yeah, let's do a few more just like that, really waking up through the core. Moving with your breath. Awesome. The next time your leg comes out to extend, your knees down. Plant the right toes down onto your mat. Pivot on the back heel. Let's take a modified side plank to begin. Begin to lift the right fingertips up towards the sky. From here, we don't want to find a back bend, so think of drawing that bottom rib and your hip bone together to keep your core nice and tight. Breathe here. And then we'll start to lower that right forearm down. Bring the right knee to meet the left. And then we're going to switch sides with our plank. So our knees are stacked the left over the right. And then start to lift the left fingertips up. So we're coming into a side plank on the other side of or facing the opposite direction. But this time we're on our forearm. Awesome. Think of really pushing the floor away with that right elbow. And then drop the left forearm down, coming onto both knees, coming into a modified forearm plank. Just untuck the toes if you don't have them already. And from here, think of tucking your tail under, squeezing your bum. Hold here, breathe. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. And then start to lower the pelvis down. And just slither the legs back, coming into Sphinx pose. This is our first little back bend of the sequence. Breathe here. Think of squeezing the glutes. Engaging the legs, pressing the tops of the feet into your mat. Now this is our first back bend, so if your body is asking you to stay here, please feel free to honor that. Or you can start to push into the hands, think of squeezing the elbows in, and lift to more of a seal pose. Now I like to take my hands a little bit wider than my shoulders. I find that's a little bit more supportive. You might find the opposite. Again, think of squeezing the bum, squeezing the inner thighs together. And then on your exhale, roll the chest, the spine down, coming into a belly shavasana, using the tops of your hands as a pillow. Take 3 deep breaths here. Now bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes under, send your hips back, coming into a child's pose. As you inhale, start to round the spine as you make your way back into tabletop. And then once you're there, come back to a neutral spine. Now we're going to do that same little sequence on the other side. So we start to extend the left leg back behind you. Nice, strong through that leg. Keep the core nice and tight. And as you exhale, start to draw that left knee in towards the chest. Really push the floor away so you can puff up your back. Inhale, extend the leg behind you. Option to stay here or tuck your right toes under as you curl the left knee into the chest, lift your back knee. Inhale, drop the back knee, extend the left leg. Yeah, exhale. Let's curl it all in. Nice core plank. Inhale, extend. Yeah, let's do a few more like that. Exhale as you curl in. Inhale, extend. 2 more. Yeah, let's feel that core firing up. Really shifting the weight into the hands, getting our whole body warmed up. Awesome. The next time your knee drops down, extend the left leg behind you. Drop the left toes down towards the floor, and then pivot on the back heel. Low side plank, start to extend the left fingertips up towards the sky. Think of squeezing your bum, keeping your core nice and engaged here. And then drop down onto that left elbow. Bring both knees to meet each other. And then pivot to the outside of the left knee. So it's almost like your knee and your shins are supporting you. Yeah, lift up out of that shoulder. Hold here. For 3, for 2, for 1, and drop the right forearm down, coming back to the kneeling forearm plank. Squeeze your bum, tuck your tail between your legs. Think of pushing the floor away from you here again. Breathe here. Option is stay here, or maybe you tuck the toes under, you lift your knees to hover. Hold, breathe. And on your exhale, drop the knees down, untuck the toes, and then curl this pelvis down, coming into Sphinx pose. Breathe. And then on your inhale breath, option for seal pose. As you press into the hands, straighten the arms as much as it's comfortable for you. Breathe here. Yeah, make sure the body's not soft. Really think of engaging everything. And then exhale, let's roll down just for a mini belly shavasana. Forehead onto the palms. Take 3 deep breaths. Place your hands underneath the shoulders. Push your hips back, come back to child's pose. As you start to shift your weight forward, round the spine, finding that cat spine, and then coming back to neutral once you find your tabletop position. Now tuck your toes under. Starting to set up for downward facing dog, begin to lift the hips up and back. Yeah, maybe you start with bent knees, and then over time, straightening the legs. Just take this time to really pedal out the feet, to make any intuitive adjustments in your down dog, to make this pose feel really nice in your body. This is really the time to explore. Maybe sway your hips. Noticing what doesn't feel good and what does feel good in your body. Now bring your big toes to touch. And on your inhale breath, begin to extend that right leg up into the air, 3-legged down dog. Then exhale, round the spine, shift your weight forward, core plank. Bring your knee to the center of your chest. Inhale, let's send it back. Exhale, shift your weight forward, core plank. Inhale, send it back. One more time as you exhale, shift your weight forward, knee to chest, knee to nose, and then step your right foot between your hands. Now rock back to step your left foot to meet the right, coming into a forward fold. Keep a generous bend into the knees for this first forward fold if you need to. Maybe reach for opposite elbows, allow your upper body to be heavy. And keeping that connection belly to thigh. Maybe with every exhale breath, you start to extend the hips up further towards the sky. Release the elbows if you have them. Inhale, let's lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, curl the spine up vertebrae by vertebrae. Head and neck will come up last. Once you've arrived to the top, place your hands onto your hips and begin to just shift your weight into your right foot. Start to track your left knee to hip height. Yeah, think of keeping that core engaged to lift that leg. We don't want all the strength to come from your hip flexors. And then from here, think of kicking that foot back without really rounding the spine too much to start. Think of kicking that foot back. Maybe the knee tracks past the hip. And your hamstrings, your bum is really going to engage here. Yeah, let's move through that again. So inhale, let's lift it up to hip height. Exhale, let's kick it back. Really engage those glutes. Nice, strong standing leg. Inhale, let's lift. And exhale, let's kick it back. Awesome. Now, just a slight bend in that standing leg. Start to shoot your left leg back. Plant your toes towards the back of your mat, coming into a crescent lunge. So hips are relatively square to the top of your mat. Once you find your foundation in the feet, start to extend your fingertips up towards the sky. Maybe you need to slither that back leg back just a tiny bit to get a little bit more depth in this pose. From here, pivot the back heel down, open up warrior two. Allow the front knee to track to the pinky toe edge or the middle of your foot. Notice if you're collapsing that knee inward. Nice strong arms. And then exalt your warrior. Take your reach up and back. On your exhale, windmill the palms down. Plant your left hand down to the ground. Pivot on the back toes. Right fingertips extend towards the sky. From here, let's find our side plank. So option to heel toe that right foot to meet the left. Or maybe you pick it up and place it in front of the left. Breathe here. Nice strong arms, strong shoulders. Stay here for 3, for 2. And then drop that right arm down, pivot onto the outside of right, inside of left. Extend the left fingertips up towards the sky. Drop that left forearm down, coming into forearm plank. Hold here. We're going to hold for 10 breaths. Option to stay here, or maybe you take little pulses, dropping your nose towards your thumbs. And then once you're finished that, drop the knees down, walk your hands back, come into child's pose to rest. Round your spine as you wave yourself forward back to tabletop. Tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. Bring the big toes to touch. On your inhale breath, lift the left leg up into the air. Core plank. As you exhale, draw left knee to chest. Puff up your upper back. Inhale, extend the leg back. Exhale, let's curl it in, core plank. Inhale, extend the leg back. Exhale, let's curl it in. Now step it through the palms. Rock back to step your right foot to meet the left. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it out. Curl the spine up vertebrae by vertebrae. Head and neck come up last. From here, this time shifting your weight into your left foot. Pick up that right knee to hip height. Hold it here, engage the core. Start to send that knee back, keeping that nice 90 degree in the leg. Engage the bum, engage the hamstring. Without bending the spine, think of kicking your right toes to the back of your mat. Inhale, let's lift it up to hip height. Exhale, kick it back. One more time, inhale to hip height. Exhale, kick it back. This will make sense in the next part, I promise. Now bend through that left leg. Start to shoot your right leg behind you. Plant the right toes down onto your mat. Once you've found that foundation in your feet, you find your balance through the midline of the body. Then start to take the arms overhead, crescent lunge. And then switch, warrior two, back heel down, open up the arms, warrior two. Come back to that breath, come back to that gaze, that place of effort and ease in every pose, in every transition. Inhale, let's take our reach up and back. And then start to windmill the palms down. This time, right hand plants down onto the floor. Pivot onto the back toes. Left arm reaches up. Option to pick up that left foot to step it back. Or just heel toe, whatever's easier for you. If there's anything else you want to explore to get there, please feel free. Side plank. Last breath here. Left forearm down. Pivot to face the right edge of your mat. Forearm side plank. Awesome. This time, right forearm down. Come into forearm plank. Option to stay here. Maybe you start to walk your feet towards your hands. Your hips go up towards the sky for dolphin. Stay here for 10 breaths. Keep pushing the shoulders, elbows into the mat to lift up out of your shoulders. And when you're ready, drop the knees down, sit the hips back, child's pose. Inhale, round the spine, come into tabletop. Then tuck the toes under, downward dog. We're going to move through that flow one more time. Just giving a little bit more options to play with in your practice. Bringing the big toes to touch. Let's start with the right leg, send it up into the air, three-legged down dog. Exhale, core plank, knee to nose. Inhale, kick it back. Exhale, knee to nose. This time, step the foot between the hands. Rock back, step your left foot to meet the right, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, curl the spine up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Head and neck come up last. Shift your weight into your left foot. Draw that right knee to hip height. This time we're going to add in the arms. So as you kick that leg back, squeeze the glute, engage the legs. Think of opening up the chest, reaching the arms back without actually grabbing the foot. Exhale, knee to hip height. Reach the arms forward, curl the spine. Inhale, draw the leg back, open up through across the chest. Exhale, let's curl it in. It's a little dancer's pose flow. Yeah, inhale, let's extend back. Exhale, curl it all in. Awesome, come back up to a neutral spine. From here, begin to shift your chest forward. Start to kick the right leg back. We're gonna step the right toes down, maybe finding a warrior 3 in the midst of that. And then bend that left leg, plant the toes behind you. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, back heel down, open up, warrior 2. Inhale, exalted warrior. Exhale, windmill the palms down, revolve lunge. Right hand down, left fingertips up. Side plank, step the left foot back. Exhale, left forearm down. Pivot to face the right edge of your mat. Side forearm plank. Right forearm down, forearm plank. Option to stay here, maybe come back to dolphin. If headstand or forearm stand is in your practice, feel free to explore, play. We're here for 10 breaths. And maybe just your practices for today, just staying in dolphin or forearm plank to just find that strength and stability within the shoulders. And if you are playing with headstand or forearm stand, make sure you're not just kicking your legs up into the pose, but really intentionally and slowly building that strength that you need to lift the legs with strength. And when you're ready, come down onto the knees, child's pose. Curl the spine, shift your weight forward, tabletop, then downward facing dog. Bring the big toes to touch. Inhale, left leg up into the air. Exhale, core plank, knee to nose. Inhale, kick it back, three-legged down dog. Exhale, curl it in, then step your left foot between the palms. Rock back, step your right foot to meet the left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it out. Curl the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way up to stand. This time, shift your weight into your right foot. Draw left knee to hip height. Inhale, begin to kick that leg back. Open up the arms. This time you can really find that extension in through the front of the body. Exhale, round the spine, knee to chest. Inhale, extend. Let's open up. Exhale, let's curl it in. Last one, open up. Exhale, curl it in. Awesome, come back to a neutral spine. Begin to draw crown of the head, chest reaching forward, kick the left toes back. Maybe hovering into that warrior 3, and then bending your front leg, plant the toes behind you. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Let's dance it back. Inhale, exalted warrior. Exhale, windmill the palms down. Plant the left hand down. Pivot on the back heel, the back toes. Right hand reaches up. Now step that left foot backside plank, or right foot backside plank. Bring the right forearm down, side plank, facing the left side. Awesome, forearm plank, both forearms on the floor. Stay here, find dolphin. Another opportunity to play with headstand, to play with forearm stand, whatever you're working on in your practice. And when you're ready, drop the knees down, come to child's pose. Make this last one nice and rounded. Slowly start to lift yourself up, coming into tabletop. And we're going to come all the way onto the belly. We've done a lot of shoulder work today, so we're going to find some stretches for the shoulders. So start to take your arms out into a T. We're going to start to roll onto that left shoulder towards the left side. The right knee can bend, and maybe your right toes can plant behind that left leg. If not, almost find like a half frog pose so that right knee is bent to hip height. Just whatever feels best in your body that can support you. Yeah, and you really want to find that opening across into the left shoulder, maybe across the left chest muscles. Really slowing down your breath. And then rolling back onto the belly. Push your right hand into the mat, and then slide your left hand across the chest, and then come to rest your chest onto your hand. Forehead can rest onto the mat. Think of rolling the right armpit down towards the floor. Just push into that right hand to free the left, and we'll do the other side. So this time extending the right arm to shoulder height into a T. And just bringing the right ear down towards your mat, bend the left knee, roll on towards that right shoulder. Come back to center. Lift up through the chest. Slide that right arm across the body. Think of rolling the left armpit down towards the floor. Push the left hand into the floor just to release the right. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Push yourself back to a tabletop. Keep the hips stacked above the knees. Walk your hands forward towards the top of your mat, and then start to sink your chest down towards the floor for puppy pose. Maybe your forehead reaches down onto your mat. Really feeling that stretch into the armpit. Awesome. And then very slowly peel your chest away. And then walk your hands back underneath the shoulders, tabletop. Start to sit your bum down towards your heels. Sweep your feet out in front of you and come to sit towards the top of your mat. We're going to start to roll onto our back. So bringing your hands onto your knees and just start to roll the spine, tuck your chin down towards your chest, and just hang out here for a moment. And start to engage the core to release the hands, and then vertebrae by vertebrae will all come to meet onto our back. Start to draw the knees in towards the chest. Bring the hands on top of your knees or maybe to the backs of the thighs. We'll just find a happy baby. Option to reach for the big toe or maybe the inside or outside edge of your foot. And then release the feet. Start to extend the legs down onto your mat. Tuck the shoulders under. Let's settle into our Shavasana. If there's any adjustments or movements that you feel like you need to end your practice, feel free to pause the video and do that now. If you're ready, start to close the windows of your eyes. Feel the back body melt into your mat. Doing a body scan, allow every muscle in your body to release and let go. I'm just noticing the sensations in the body. Maybe there's a sense of tension released. A sense of relaxation coming into the body. Notice how your mind starts to wander. And can you just bring it back to something constant, an anchor, such as your breath? Maybe it's a sensory sensation like the temperature on your skin or the heat and the coolness of your breath as it goes in and out through the nose. And please stay here as long as you like, as long as you need. And when you feel ready to do so, just wake up the body very slowly and very mindfully. There's no rush, unless, of course, time is on your side and you have somewhere to be or somewhere to go. But if you have the time, please stay here. Find some quiet in your day, find some relaxation. Thank you for practicing today. Namaste.